Where'd it go? Hey, good morning. Pastor Chris here. Welcome to the Poolside Chat. Water today. So, I said I answer anything on your mind, all questions. Had a lot of questions about, about the court case with Trump and the verdict. And I'm a little nervous to address this, but let me tell you my initial thoughts. What do I think? That's what I was asked. What do I think? So, my initial thought, and this, I'm not going to give a Bible verse to this. My initial thought is I was really glad there was no violence. We've seen other court cases and other decisions and other things, and there was a lot of violence and threats and just some really, really terrible stuff. It was more than protest, so I'm super glad that I did not see that. But then my mind went to Proverbs, and there are two things that I wanted to share with you. So, it seems like there's some strong feelings on this case. It doesn't matter whether you like President Trump and want him or don't, whether you think he was good or bad. I really don't like the talk about evil. It's not a good versus evil fight. I think that's a little dangerous, I would say. Because when you start saying that someone is evil, or like Hitler, or it's almost our responsibility to stop evil by any means possible. And I don't think that conversation, that talk, helps anything, to be perfectly honest. So I don't like that. But where my mind went, I had to look this up. Proverbs 28:5. Book of Proverbs, most of it was written by Solomon, wisest man that ever lived. These couple chapters are written by Hezekiah. They were collected. If you remember, I mentioned this before, Proverbs were a collection of sayings that were in common use in this part of the world at this time. Some were written, but all of these were inspired to be collected by God. That's how come they're written here. And they were used for instruction, for teaching on how to live the best life possible. It's actually a fascinating book. I would encourage you to read the book of Proverbs. But 28:5, I knew this verse was here. But what it says, evildoers do not understand what is right, but those who seek the Lord understand it fully. It talks about righteousness and justice. And the lesson I want you to take from this is don't forget that God's in control. You can go back a couple chapters into Proverbs 21, and it says God holds the hearts of kings in his hand. He turns them to and fro which way he wants. None of this happens outside of God's purview. So, what I would like to remind you of is whether you think this verdict, this court case, this whole thing against New York against Trump was just or not. Don't forget, God's in control. Proverbs 28:5. I lost it. Evildoers do not understand what is right, but those who seek the Lord understand it fully. God's in control. Or if you think this was a grand injustice, it was terribly unfair, this will be changed and challenged, and let me read it again. I keep losing my page. I think it's wind. It's nice. It's a nice breeze out here. But those who seek the Lord fully understand. Those who seek the Lord understand it fully. So it doesn't matter which way, which side of the argument or response you're on. God's in control. And that's what I want you to remember. Again, there's some things that I don't like. I don't like the joy and cheering. I don't like the evil. I think it just, one, diminishes us if you take pleasure in others' downfalls. And I think it is very dangerous if you view an election as good versus evil, because the natural result is we have to stop evil by any means possible. So that's the extremes. Otherwise, whether you're happy or sad, you think it's right or wrong, whether justice has been served or it's a miscarriage of justice, do not forget God is in control. Proverbs 28:5. Evildoers do not understand what is right, but those who seek the Lord understand it fully. That's my thoughts. So, any comments, questions, let me know. Be happy to talk more, but like I said, whatever you got, we'll talk about it. Didn't really like this because I didn't want to address it, but thanks for asking, and keep the questions coming. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, at FL Compass Church, and now on Instagram. Guys, have a great weekend. Remember, tomorrow's Sunday, so go to church. See you Wednesday.